Welcome back. I just want to say thank you so much for the response to my last video. As a small creator, just starting off, I've been doing this maybe for a month. It's awesome to see the engagement and the enthusiasm and the love for Sleep Token. And I'm so happy to have waited to dive in deeper into Sleep Token to be able to share that with everyone here. So thank you. But today, as recommended, we're going to go all the way back to one, Sleep Token's first EP, released back in 2016. I can't believe I went so long not knowing about this band. My wife showed them to me about 2.5 years ago, right before the release of Take Me Back to Eden. And I gotta say, I have consumed the shit out of that album. But not so much all the other albums. Like I've said in the past, I'm not an expert on the Sleep Token lore, so I'm looking forward to diving into that and learning more along with you guys. If you guys have any fun facts or any directions I should go in, please let me know in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into the first track from Sleep Token's One, Thread the Needle.
Bury me inside this labyrinth bed. We can feel that time is dilated.
Right off the bat, I know that their earlier stuff is a lot slower and more atmospheric, and his singing sounds a little more falsetto. It's more fragile to me. Really quick before we get into it, bury me inside this labyrinth bed. The labyrinth is from Greek mythology. It's a maze that continuously grows and changes to make it difficult or impossible to escape. By referring to the bed as a labyrinth, he is suggesting he cannot escape the bed, even if he wanted to. Sounds like depression, sounds like burnout. I think we know that well. And then we can feel that time is dilated. That makes sense. Just time is either just flying by or time is just standing still, but it's warped by something. Time is expanding, open, and wide. This is most likely referring to the feeling of losing time to something you love or to a habit or focus. There it is. Speaking of ADHD, that hyper-focusing on a new fixation or a distraction and having that time either just slip away or doing something that's so monotonous that you feel like you're there forever and it's just been like 10 minutes. Let's keep going.
We can spend the night in fascination. You can thread the needle time and time again. You turn the lights down.
Vessel.
Come on, I'm find out. You turn the lights down. Come on, oh, I'm find out.
Okay. I'm not sure what's coming, but, and I gotta say, this is one of the ones I haven't heard. And if I have, do not remember it. I feel like I remember it. It's so sad. So let's see. We could spend the night in fascination, fixated. You can thread the needle time and time again. Before I click in, I want to see. You can thread the needle. You can try and navigate through this difficult task, situation, over and over again, time and time again. Thread the needle is a saying used to highlight skillfully navigating something difficult, correct? This lyric can be interpreted to mean that the other person in bed in this relationship is skillfully avoiding something difficult. possibly ending the relationship. Adding on time and time again means the skill is repeatedly being used to avoid conflicts. Oof, there's so much here. Having been diagnosed, it's so hard to look at things and not think of certain symptoms or certain situations that I found myself in that somehow relate to ADHD. And I got to remind myself it's not what defines me, but it's important for us to understand that in a way, it's how we work. So turning back to the lyrics, those skills that we tend to depend on and lean on, the defense mechanisms, the avoidance, we all have them. And I think it's important for all of us to acknowledge that. But more importantly than just acknowledging, it's knowing how to correctly change some of those behaviors. And in relationships, it's one of the hardest situations to navigate. You turn the lights down. This could possibly suggest that the other person in the bed is purposefully ignoring their lack of communication or commitment in the relationship, thereby turning the lights down so they can't see. So the lyrics go, you turn the lights down, come on and find out. You turn the lights down, come on and find out. So he's like begging his partner, like, please, let's have this conversation. Let's have this confrontation. Let's talk about it. Let's fight. But they just get silence. And personally for me, I would rather get angry and communicate and get things off of our chest than let it fester in silence. Like that to me drives me crazy.
Something to confide in, something to erase. Just look where we're lying, invisible space.
Something to confide in, something to erase. It's almost like a diary, like something you write down, you unmask, you let yourself be vulnerable, but then you erase it so that it can't hurt you, It's like writing down your feelings and then burning that. It's cathartic. It's just what makes me think about that. Let's see what the annotations say. Something to confide in suggests that the relationship was once a safe space for Vessel and the other person. Yet contradicting it with something to erase further suggests that the other person is trying to hide their relationship with Vessel. More of that shame and manipulation of just using somebody. Let's keep going.
Or we can spend the night in fascination. You can thread me to
Oh wow, there's like layering on his voice.
time and time again.
Ooh. It's like from a movie, like walking through the gates.
The lights down.
Wow.
Come on, find out.
I do love when he comes down from that falsetto.
It's time. The lights down. Come on, find out.
All right, whoa. Before I see we get into this instrumental outro, what an interesting breakdown. Going back up here, it says an invisible space. This can either be a literal bed that's being considered a safe space where they can escape, as it feels like time doesn't matter there, or it can be a reference to the relationship itself being invisible or unofficial. So a little bit more of that love unreciprocated. And then just the pain in his voice and the way he was singing that, I believe, I don't want to go back right now, but because I want to hear it again in its entirety, but it sounds like he was singing it a little differently, maybe a little more raw and out of that falsetto. But that instrumental was just so spooky. It was like that doom metal breakdown, but almost like this gothic, Victorian, Dracula-esque organ sound. I don't even know if it was an organ, but it was intense. Very dope and very effective. Kobe, you didn't like it? You didn't like it? I think you liked it. It was very effective. It was very effective in creating a mood, creating this picture, creating this picture in my mind. All right, let's ride this one out.
Oh, heavy.
Classic Fatal. They were doing it since day one. So dope. So dope. I didn't watch the visuals too much, but I gotta say, at the for that intro, I was able to catch some glimpses of Vessel's old mask, which is super cool. I forgot they've changed. So beautiful song, painful song, uh, relatively light, not in the subject, but in the lyrics, or amount of lyrics, I guess. But it says a lot. It kind of lays down this idea of being in some kind of relationship, being in that relationship, being manipulated, not being loved or shown appreciation. It's something I think a lot of us can understand or have seen it in other situations, maybe outside of ourselves. But we can all hear that pain that Vessel's singing through. And I think it's part of what makes him special, like, honestly. I feel like this one's gonna be heavy.
The daylight recedes and you listen. This room buries the eyes like death in motion. Nobody
guitar.
else can pull me out.
The way he said nobody else.
The fields of elation.
Oh man. It was the same way. Okay. Wow. So raw. It's just him and the guitar, it sounds like. Or maybe a few layers of guitar. So we start off with the daylight recedes in unison, gets dark at once in this room, buries the hours like death in motion. So time is just passing. Daylight recedes in an instant, like death in motion. Let's see what this says. The daylight receding in unison just means that the sun goes down and everything becomes dark. This is a metaphorical darkness, a depression. The hours buried, like death in motion, are how it can feel to be depressed, simply existing endlessly with nothing to brighten your days. You are dead, but still moving. Damn. That's such a way to... Whoever wrote that, I hope you're okay, because I felt that. And then in the chorus, the fields of elation, quiet and loomy. Nobody else can pull me out of that depression. Fields of elation, quiet and loomy. Before I read the annotation, it makes me feel like you're standing in a field that's supposed to be happy and quiet, but it's quiet, but not necessarily happy. What is this word, loamy? Loamy is a word meaning fertile soil. So he's saying that his life currently contains no joy. His fields of elation are quiet, but the soil is ready for the seeds of joy to be planted. So it's not like a no hope situation. There's potential there. And he knows it, which is the important part. Let's keep going.
Your name is a sin. I breathe like oxygen. Caught in the careless arms of lust again.
Damn. I don't mean to pause so often, but one, I kind of have to. And two, I don't want to miss anything here. These seem separated for a reason. Your name is a sin I breathe like oxygen. Caught in the careless arms of lust again. I love how he rhymes that. This is a rapper, man. Caught in the careless arms of lust. This suggests that the relationship is in fact a toxic one, as the other's arms are careless and they are seemingly willing to hide their relationship and not care for Vessel in a loving way. Saying that their arms are lust could also suggest that they are taking advantage of Vessel, possibly by lusting for power or material things. And it kind of reminds me of The Weeknd, which is funny. There's a lot of toxic traits of relationships that I think cross over here. But it could just be like a physical use of a person, you know? Let's keep going.
Nobody else can pull me out. The fields of elation, quiet and lonely.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I have to pause. Whoa. Okay, so there was a lot there. I love that breakdown. And the tone of his voice, it's like a cry. And it's different than it's different than their newer albums. There's like a rawness to it, and you could tell he's younger and he's less confident in letting out these emotions. Not as a singer. I'm pretty sure his intent is exactly what it's meant to be. And then the producing, like, at some point the percussions were kind of bouncing back and forth, and then right before I paused, the that sound that came in was like pulsing. So I'm assuming there's going to be a pretty gnarly breakdown here. So let's ride this one out with Kobe.
Losing my faith in all life's apart. I'm losing my faith in all life's apart. I'm losing my faith in all
Fantastic. Great song. Beautiful breakdown at the end. Kind of like that haunting echo at the end, just repeating, and then fading out. The melody of the chorus, it does sound familiar, so I do kind of remember that melody. Once again, Sleep Token, beautiful sounds. And Vessel just kind of showing another part of his voice, and I'm picturing this as the songs came out and as a fan's perspective, kind of hearing the different sides of the band. So far they have that atmospheric sound with haunting vocals. And then this song introduces a more alternative, like upbeat sound, but while still keeping that somber vibe.
you could stay alive. Just tell me that you noticed, even in the dark, the way I left you breathing.
Very simple start, just Vessel and some atmospheric sounds in the background. Very minimal. He's still singing in that painful falsetto. You could stay alive. Just tell me that you notice. Even in the dark, the way I left you breathing. Let's keep going.
Sometimes when we touch everything we love, resist. It's only just enough, even when we run with death.
Here's like a layering effect there too, where Vessel's singing like high and low. Sometimes when we touch, everything we love resets. It's only just enough, even when we run with death. So that first part, when we're together, everything we love resets. This could be one of many references to sleep forgetting about Vessel. This could be a lyrical tool to represent being neglected in a relationship due to giving it a higher importance than your partner. Continued themes of that abandonment. It's only just enough, even when we run with death. Let's listen to this next part. I'm sorry if I'm pausing a lot. The copyright are pretty nasty. Whatever. Let's keep going.
can be released, flowing over sorrow days. We can stay suspended,
Ooh, that high pitched voice has like a.
even when the bell breaks. Sometimes
Okay, real quick. We could be released flowing over sorrow days. We could stay suspended even when the bow breaks. When the bow breaks is a phrase or idiom meaning when a situation has reached the point of no return. In this context, these lines refer to how Vessel and his partner are ignoring how bad their relationship has gotten, despite the fact that they know it's unhealthy. They're just too scared to be alone. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Let's keep going.
when we touch everything we love, resist. Only just enough, even when we run with
That's so sad. And it sounds like bells. Are they supposed to be like wedding bells? Oh shit. I have not heard that. uh Damn. That was an awesome outro. And such a juxtaposition to like the first half basically, where it's just so sad. And I think the wedding bells thing is more important than I realize. It does feel like the idea of that point of no return. Is it vessel and sleep entering this arrangement, this marriage? And that's the point of no return. And vessel is maybe getting cold feet and begging for reassurance, begging sleep to not lie to him, to stop looking away and let's address the issues before it's too late. And then the church bells ring. I'm not sure what the outro represents, but it almost feels like they've entered this agreement, this marriage. They've given their vows. And now it's that like sinking feeling, that drop in Vessel's stomach of knowing like, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? And all that doubt. Awesome song. Definitely a fan of the second half. But that was Sleep Token's first EP, 3 tracks. The world's introduction to Sleep Token. It's sad, it's melancholy, it's powerful. It fucking rocks. Not bad. Whoa.
I am caught, tangled in, wrapped in quartered, shipping now and over time, lived again for just a moment, missing pieces find me. I swear that I ache for your eyes and the way you breathe.
Whoa. I got entranced there for a second. Bouncing between the visuals and the lyrics. Is that Vessel? Was that part of his face? I think that's the most of his face I've seen, and honestly, I don't want to see anymore. I might just stick to the lyrics. But jumping off from the last track, which was When the Bow Breaks, I had mentioned in my last video that there were sounds in there that seemed like Sleep and Vessel were entering this marriage together. There were like church bells, marriage bells. His first lines are, I am caught, tangled in, wrapped and quartered, tripping up and over time lived again for just a moment, missing pieces find me. Interesting. If we take that same idea and bring that here, it feels like a little bit of time has passed and he's been in this relationship with sleep, but now he feels even more caught, and now it is past that point of return, so he can't go back. He can't take it back. And he finishes here with, for just a moment, missing pieces find me. Is that missing pieces of himself? For just a moment, he feels complete and realizes the situation that he's in, and then it just slips away again. Let's read the annotations. Entrapment and sacrifice. Vessel often frames lyrics as ritualistic devotions to an ancient deity known as sleep. These opening lines evoke spiritual and emotional torment. The image of being quartered alludes to medieval execution, symbolizing a complete loss of agency, a soul pulled apart by overwhelming forces. Critics highlight the band's thematic tension between beauty and violence. Quote, dark, violent imagery. Quote, sleep is not an entirely benevolent force. These are just some quotes in here. I don't want to really... This torment reflects the sacrificial devotion central to the band's mythology, where the narrator surrenders entirely, even painfully, in pursuit of connection with the divine. We're going to keep going. And he says, I sweat and I ache for your eyes and the way you breathe. Interesting. He's still giving himself. And I awake seeing your name. He wakes up asking for him. Let's keep going.
You are more than one belief, melting skywards, more than silence broken. I'm whole again for just a moment till the morning comes.
Oh, man. Okay. So, you're more than warm belief, melting skywards, more than silence broken. I'm whole again for just a moment till the morning comes. Okay, so is it sleep kind of still pushing Vessel off to the side away from the world, and then when sleep wants or needs him at night, comes, gets what he wants, Vessel feels alive, at least until the morning comes. Damn. Let's see the annotation for that line. Sleep cannot be reached by Vessel when he is awakened, which means any encounters he has with her last only till the morning, for he must wake up. Duh. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Sleep, it's when he's sleeping. So when he's dreaming, he's with her. Very interesting. Okay. You wake saying your name, but sleep isn't there anymore. I see.
Oh, she said you better believe it. I said you don't know. You said you better
And again, I can't say enough about the drumming. Oh. when Vessel is there. Feels whole. Okay, real quick. Badass breakdown. Vessel was recalling a conversation between his love interest. In this case, I'm gonna assume Sleep. One in which she has asked if he is actually committed to her. Perhaps to either confirm both of their levels of commitment to the relationship, or maybe for their own peace of mind. Vessel had responded with an overly positive response to put her mind at ease. That she couldn't even comprehend how committed he was. He was in that deep. Damn. I hope this isn't going in a direction of like pushing Sleep away, at least temporarily, with how much devotion Vessel has. Some would say clingy. Let's keep going.
For just a moment, missing pieces find me alive, whole again. For just a moment, missing pieces find me. Time lived again. For just a moment, missing pieces find me alive, whole again,
Okay, before we go into that outro. Time lived again for just a moment, missing pieces find me, and I'm whole again for just a moment. Missing pieces find me, time lived again for just a moment. I sweat and ache for, missing pieces find me, whole again. So it's just this cycle of longing for sleep, getting sleep, and then losing and longing for sleep again. Damn. All right. Let's settle in for this one. It's entrancing. Is that fading out? Okay, that makes sense. All right. So that was Sleep Token Calcutta, the first track off of their second EP 2. So we find ourselves with Vessel in this cycle of longing for sleep, but being neglected for sleep, and then given just enough to keep him wanting sleep. And thinking about how we can relate to these kind of situations, I have a feeling the deeper we get into Sleep Token, the more I might be repeating myself. But these themes of toxic relationships, abandonment, giving yourself completely, I'm curious to see. I have a general idea of where we end up, at least at the point of Take Me Back to Eden. But I'm curious to see the ups and downs that we're about to get into. So far, out of the 4 songs that we've heard, I'm going to put Fields of Elation at the top. I love that song. I've been hearing it nonstop. And then I would probably put Calcutta number 2. The other two songs from the first EP, they were great and beautiful. They were just very sad and not something that I would put on to vibe to. Something like this has a little more in it, and Fields of Elation, the melodies in there are just very catchy to me. I could feel the wider range of emotions in that one. Token.
And I'll see you when the wrath comes, knocking on your bedroom door with money, building your kingdom, dripping from the open mouth. I'll show you what you look like from the inside.
Interesting.
And I'll see you when the wrath comes.
All right, before we get too into it, this will be quick, I promise. I'll see you when your wrath comes knocking on your bedroom door. I think this might be the first time where there's like a lustful vibe. You know, mentions of the bedroom door, money, building a kingdom, dripping, open mouth. There's visuals here that kind of make me feel like this is Sleep messing with Vessel, egging him on. They're trying to seduce him. Let's keep going. Ooh, let's hear that again. Okay. Tonight you have the answer. So this is Sleep basically, maybe for the first time, giving Vessel the attention that he's been asking for. Although I have a feeling he might regret it.
Let's load the gun, make her read the tape in the bathroom mirror, see if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. Let's fuck her up, manifest pain at the core of pleasure. I'll see you when the wrath comes.
What the fuck? What's happening? Let's load the gun, make her eat the tape in the bathroom mirror. See if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. Let's fuck her up, manifest pain at the core of pleasure. I don't know why, but my mind almost goes to like a different scenario where you have Vessel with a girl and Sleep is kind of whispering in his ear, like, of all these dark things. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's check out the annotation. This song is one not entailing the connection with Sleep as the others do, but in fact is the act of Vessel striking down his previous lover, likely called Eden. Oh shit. Make her eat the tape in the bathroom mirror. This line acts as an indicator of the reflection on the violence in hindsight, with the imagery of the mirror acting as a way to hold Vessel to view the act he is committing in the name of sleep. We can later see he regrets this decision. I know he's going to regret this later, so that other girl is Eden. That's so interesting. So it is Sleep kind of whispering in his ear. Crazy. All right, let's keep going. I don't know what to expect. Should I expect a breakdown? Feels like it's building towards it. Damn. The keys. I wasn't sure. Oh. Is that it? Incredible. God, I love these breakdowns. If I've learned anything going back from the beginning, it's that these like early breakdowns were so clean. So overall, great song. It definitely stands out in the story, which makes sense since it's not between just Sleep and Vessel, and it like a dark side of Vessel. It's Vessel completely under Sleep's control, basically, or influence. Interesting. Like those keys are beautiful.
Until I wake, I dine on golden crowns. Until you taste like new flesh.
All right. Just pausing here real quick before we get too deep in. Tread ancient water, salt like I sink, down like precious stones. Until I wake, dine on old encounters, until you taste like new flesh. So for me, coming off of the last few tracks that we've listened to, Vessel is in this state of bliss with sleep. It's you could see how he was manipulated by sleep in the last track in Nazareth to basically open up his dark side, and let out all his frustrations on his ex, his lover, his former lover, Eden. And so going into this one, tread ancient water, salt like I sink, down like precious stones. Makes me think of like shipwrecks, down at the bottom of the sea, being sunk down. And then the line about dining on old encounters, it's dreaming of his time with sleep. Let's see the annotations here. For the refrain, until I wake, I dine on old encounters. This refrain leads into the chorus, you taste like new flesh. The food metaphor links them. This suggests the narrator is plagued by memories in their sleep. Whether this is nostalgic or nightmarish is subjective. Reminiscing on these encounters is saved for the unconscious, while it seems the waking hours are used for new. These lives' experiences are more fresh and alive, like flesh, perhaps suggesting a carnal reading to the verses. This ties back into the frequent eating imagery within the sleeptoken discography. I do know there's songs like Caramel, Sugar, Jaws, that have to do with like consumption, you know? Just keep going. It's him longing for sleep. Those keys. All right. This line here, you taste like new flesh. This line serves as a bold declaration of dominance and possession. This phrase embodies sleep's triumph in acquiring vessel as a vessel, implying a sense of ownership and control over their subject. The imagery of tasting new flesh conveys a sense of conquest and consumption, suggesting that sleep derives satisfaction from subjugating and consuming their prey. This metaphorical imagery evokes a visceral sense of power and superiority as sleep revels in their ability to manipulate and dominate the vessel. It almost feels like the chorus is, based off of that, it feels like the chorus is sleep, kind of sweet-talking vessel. You taste like new flesh. I'm enjoying this very much. No, let's keep going. I didn't want to pause it. Such a nice build up and that breakdown. It was hard, but it felt appropriate. Fold secrets in the sweat like I swallow years beneath his bed. Years beneath this bed. The way he says things, you really have to think about it sometimes. Fold secrets in the sweat. So I'm thinking it could be sweat from getting physical, sweat from like night terrors, dreaming, um, or just anxiety.
My hands are not worthy. My hands are not worthy.
That's so sad.
Hands are not worthy.
Yeah. There was a line in there that really got me. The last few days have been tough, personally. Just dealing with life and interpersonal relationships. And I had an old friend reach out to me yesterday just to check up on me. I haven't spoken to him in a while. And he knows the struggle that I've been dealing with, but I have isolated myself. A part of that isolation is definitely guilt for kind of just disappearing on the people that care about me. And so that line that my hands are not worthy, it's such a real thing that myself and I'm sure many of us feel, that sense of self-worth, that guilt of why we are the way we are and how it gets in the way sometimes. But back to the song. After Nazareth, it feels like Vessel has kind of curled up in that comfortable void that he's found himself with sleep. And that void could be his nightmares, his dreams, that bed, that lonely bed. And this line, enough to make the dead switch graves. This line evokes a powerful and haunting image, implying that sleep possesses a transformative or supernatural influence over those around them. This metaphor suggests that sleep's presence has the power to alter the course of destiny, or provoke profound changes in others, even beyond the realm of the living. Thinking more like from a relationship point of view, there's something in the way you lay enough to make the dead switch graves. It makes me feel like there's something about you. There's like a pool, It's like that concept of an energy vampire where there's people that there are people that can just drain you of your positivity and motivation just by how they are and how they see the world, and that kind of negativity can really pull people down. In a way, it feels like sleep possesses that same quality, but in a more manipulative way, where sleep will make you think that they're giving you what you want while pulling the strings and having their own agenda. I don't know. That song really took me somewhere else. So maybe I was a little distracted towards the end there. But great way to end the EP. I gotta say, from the 3 tracks in this one, Calcutta was great, but Nazareth definitely took the prize here. And just like that, we have completed Sleep Token's first 2 EPs. Now, we get into the nitty-gritty. Sundowning. As a reminder, I am a Sleep Token fan. I love Take Me Back to Eden. I've heard a few songs from the new album, but I've on purpose not listened to it very much. But Sundowning and This Place Will Become Your Tomb, those 2 albums that in my mind I've heard tracks, I don't know which ones are on what. So I'm excited to get the full picture. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the recommendations, all the engagement. For those of you who have recommended specific songs, I will be getting to those, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like this video if you enjoyed the reaction. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe so you don't miss our next reactions. And let me know in the comments what you think about this track. And if there's anything else you guys want me to check out. I'm currently posting 3 times a week, but if I can get to 100 subscribers, we might be able to pull one off daily. Be safe, everyone. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.